The US recently announced that it will aggressively revoke visas for Chinese students, especially those linked to the Chinese Communist Party or studying in critical tech and defense field. But what exactly does this mean, and why now? China is the second-largest source of international students in the United States, just behind India. As of 2023, over 277,000 Chinese nationals were enrolled in U.S. universities. These students bring in billions to the U.S. economy each year, over $14.29 billion from tuition, housing, and living expenses. Yet, national security concerns have reshaped U.S. policy. During his first term, Donald Trump issued a proclamation aimed at preventing Chinese nationals, especially postgraduates and researchers, from acquiring U.S. technologies. The government believed some students were being used by the Chinese military to gather sensitive research. Over 1,000 visas were revoked back in 2020. Now, that strategy is back. Secretary of State Marco Rubio recently stated that visa scrutiny will increase for applicants from China and Hong Kong. However, he didn't explain how the U.S. would determine who has ties to the Communist Party, an organization with over 100 million members in China. China has fired back, calling the move unjust and discriminatory. They argue that revoking student visas based on ideology undermines educational and cultural exchange. This isn't an isolated move. The U.S. has already tightened visa processes for students involved in pro-Palestine activism, including restrictions on Harvard's enrollment of foreign students. There's more. The Confucius Institutes, which promote Chinese language and culture in U.S. universities, have largely been shut down after being labeled foreign missions. The Justice Department's China Initiative, launched in 2018, also investigated Chinese researchers, though it ended in 2022 amid claims of racial profiling and lack of solid evidence. So what's changed now? Even after the COVID border closures lifted, fewer Chinese students returned to the U.S. Growing geopolitical tensions and better domestic opportunities in China have slowed the outflow. There's also a growing preference among Chinese students to study in the UK instead of the U.S. But here's the irony. Despite the drop, Chinese students still form nearly 25% of all international students in the United States. So why push them away? Some experts say it's more about optics than real security threat. Membership in the Communist Party is often seen in China as a way to advance your career, not necessarily a sign of ideological commitment. So what does this all mean? The US and China recently eased tariffs after years of economic tension. This visa move could reverse that progress, damaging future trade talk. And with elections nearing, Trump is doubling down on his anti-China stance, using student visas as a political tool. In the end, this crackdown could have real consequences, not just for Chinese students, but for America's reputation as a global education leader. If you like the video, then don't forget to subscribe. It really motivates us to create helpful videos.